learning disability now. Please forbear to swear. I had 13 brain operations.
Holy shit!
So I mean that's why it's seriously problematic for me to get stuff right.
Yeah.
And that's partly, you know, why I go back to try and piece together my life.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right on. Yeah, you're going over and checking it all over.
Well, that's right. Trying to get some basic facts often.
Yeah.
You know, like when I left, where I was there, who.
Why? Because you forgot about everything.
Well, it's not forgetting. It's just not having it there in my head.
I see what you're saying.
It's not that I actually can't remember anything in the normal way.
But if you see it, you do.
Not properly.
No.
Not properly. That would be good. That would be good. But no, not properly. Even that.
Oh shit.
In what way does it help to come to places like this?
It's about drawing the threads together in a way that's constructive and forward-looking. It helps me live and cope and survive.
How far back do the notebooks go? The ones in your bag?
Well, these go back a little way.
Do you know what you were doing a year ago today?
No idea what I was doing a year ago today.
We start filming.
Oh, right. Did we come here?
No, it was at your flat.
It was at the flat. And was it actually on the 10th?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I have left my notebook in the living room, and I need to be reunited with my head, because it makes me anxious. Oh dear, that's unbelievably frustrating. It's actually where it's meant to be. It's because I know, because I'm sort of feeling and that's what made me think it should be in, but of course it's not meant to be in that pocket anyway. It is where it's meant to be. I have elaborate systems, and that are being developed as we speak, so to speak, and complex systems, because it's a complex fucking disability. What gives the day when I'm here structure is the meals. I have an identification in terms of small processes getting very routinized, particularly all the domestic processes. These are what I call goodies, which is the stuff that most people throw into the garbage.
At what point do you throw stuff out? Because there must be some things that you just don't need or use.
I haven't. I've got the attic, and it's got boxes and boxes of goodies in the attic. Quite a bit of it is at the front because I haven't been up to sort of put it further back. It's not at all surprising that I am as I am. I realise that even people who've been incredibly close to me, and my mum, who's been the closest to me since day one, really doesn't know very much as to what makes me tick now. I hope the process of this project will help them to get to know, understand me a little bit better as well, which would be a fantastically good thing. My condition is hydrocephalus, which is water on the brain, and that's bad water. It's not a nice, pleasant, healing, refreshing associations. It's more often, much more commonly with disease and with death. So I have 1, 2, 3 to the face, 4, 5. 2 is the sweatshirt, which is either yellow or red. The watch, of course, sadly. A very problematic relationship with watches too, of course. And then 6-2 will be the time note for when, because then I have an accurate record of how long I've spent in the bath.
Hello.
Alison. Hi.
Welcome. Lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you.
How long? It's been a long time.
I know. It has
And I
been
wasn't
quite
here
a while.
last time you
I
came.
know. That's right.
No.
That's right. Was it Jean's funeral that the last time we actually
We spoke. Yes, I think it
met?
is.
You
I think
probably,
it is.
Darren, this is
No,
Alison.
Darren, how do you do?
How are you?
Very well, thank you. I hope you are.
Thanks for having me.
I think we should go in at the front door, don't you?
Oh, yes.
I'll go and open it. I haven't opened it yet.
Right.
You haven't opened
So you can hover there.
Right.
And you can drape yourself tastefully over something or another and be photographed.
it. You'll have to go and open it.
Yes, I'm going. That's what I'm on my way to do.
Good.
Alison, that's the little present.
Oh, bless you.
Hope you enjoy
May I open it
Hope
now?
you enjoy him. Please do. Please do. Because it was the other day, of course, your birthday, wasn't it?
Yes, it was Tuesday.
I like to. I have what I think of as a 10-day rule throughout.
Oh, wait, rather like the octave of Christmas, or like as in the church, you have a certain amount of days which cover the feast.
Now that's a nice association, and that's that's
That's what's his name? It'll come. I'll drop the I shall drop the question into that rag bag I call my mind.
Yes.
And sometime during the next few hours it'll surface.
It'll come, absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
Yes.
isn't that interesting that you should produce that? Because at your place here
Yes.
is something that's been looking for a home for ages, and this morning I thought, Daniel.
How nice. Thank you, Alison.
What kind of relationship have you had with Daniel throughout his life?
What kind?
Yeah.
Spasmodic.
But it's been
I'm
a lovely,
very-
you've
I'm
been a
very bad.
super godmum.
I haven't at all. I haven't looked after your spiritual well-being at all.
You can't really look after someone's spiritual well-being from thousands of miles away. And you and under the circumstances, you did jolly well because you wrote regularly.
I did. I
And it-
got all your letters, as you know. Because I keep I have files for everyone.
Right.
On your head when you go through here.
Right.
I've got them all facing the wrong way. Here we are. Daniel Macnee. Now, shall we look inside? You see? Oh, look. The storm. This is a story.
Right.
The wind howled as if it would never stop, and the sea seemed to be raging over the world. Crash! Down came the topsail, mainsail, and jib masts. An island loomed up in the distance, but it was too far away to get to. They said their farewells to one another and threw themselves into the sea in despair. And that island was Newfound Land.
I mean, I know that was me, but it's not a me that I really have very much connection with now. I've probably got about 2,000 people at least on my birthday list. And eventually, I'll do a lot more people's birthdays on a regular basis. Yeah, look, it's absolutely pretty much, there's hardly there's possibly room for a couple more names there, and a couple more names there, but otherwise, it is pretty much absolutely solid.
What is the birthday process?
It's my way of being involved with the world and people. At the fundamental level, it's about the fucking disability. You know, it helps in the long-term process of getting people and places more and more what I call in focus. When you go to see someone, there's just 1,000,001 skills, and that's all good for my rehabilitation. Darren is...
You've still got your Union Jack jersey on. I think it's the most extraordinary thing.
Hi Peter, how are you?
Hi.
Hi.
It's a bit small. Hello.
Hi. Yes, I brought 3 containers of soup, which I think probably could
my
go in the fridge, I think.
That's lovely because it's distinctly soup weather.
Right.
So we shall live on soup for the next few days.
Right.
You make the soup.
Yes, I did.
Oh, it's nice to be proud of. I remember some of the food you served us up. It was totally uneatable. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, that was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago, really.
We turned out of all comfortable chairs.
What sort of a trip did you have? The journey up.
I think it went fairly smoothly. Wouldn't you
Did you
agree?
see much snow around on the way up?
I got something royal.
Ah, thank you.
But I hope you'll, because I like the thought that, I mean, that's obviously helping support the
Lovely.
printmakers, which is a super gallery, and I like
That's right.
the idea that I'm helping support.
They're not completely in chronological order, but they are in what you might call geographical order. There are you and Dad at Macnee John. You're learning to walk.
Wait. It's amazing looking at Dad at that age.
This is you and Colin, and that's the first photograph of Colin, and he was about 9 months old. And I'm holding him like that, pretending that he's a little baby. That's the 3 of you and me on a road near Ramkong.
Right.
You lot got through quite a few childhood illnesses unscathed, except for the measles, which I think was your undoing. Colin got mumps, of course.
Glad you mentioned Colin, because I wanted to say this with you, Mum. I've always felt like I sort of live in Colin's shadow in a sense. But I want you to, before you pass on, to feel genuinely proud of what I've done and will do, and more and more so, hopefully, as I get gradually better.
Oh yes, well I think that's true. But I think when you and Colin were children,
Yes.
Colin was the loser.
Well,
you see.
it's funny that.
And then it completely changed around.
It's funny. Well, yeah, it's funny that. I know.
But, yeah. But anyway, it all worked out. And I'm very proud of what you do these days.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But, yeah. Okay.
Okay, right.
Right. You and all.
Yeah, yeah. There's no one who, I would like to appreciate me more than my mum. Like I said, that's not a mother's boy perspective at all.
Hi Daniel, happy birthday.
Hi, Mum. Hi.
This is going to be rather a quick happy birthday because I've got to take Peter in to see Dr. Morgan again about his ears.
Right. Right.
But I hope you enjoy the rest of your birthday.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Anyway,
right.
lots of love.
Super, and you, Mum. Yeah. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye. Well, I am now, and I do have this reason. I wasn't. It's 52 altogether. That I am, but no, I'm just starting, and you see what, because of that unbelievably extraordinary and radical transformation that happened in my life when I was 30. But I mean, it does literally almost feel like another lifetime, another me. So that's 2, and then 3 is checked for the bag for life, unfortunately the torch, and which I associate with Dunbar, and it's working, and magnifying glass, and 4, which is a sort of very important, because this is my working, it's the P notebook, but this is what keeps the record of so that's 7, and then 8 is back into the kitchen, 6 is off, which is the radio, and then 6-2, then 10-2 is the front door. I'm ready to go through.
Could you explain to me what a Helix Trip is?
A Helix Trip is really about going back to somewhere that you were at, a significant place that you spent quite a bit, an important chunk of your life in many years before. Well, it's about reclaiming where I've been and my life. I mean, I like to think with all due modesty that I've had an extraordinarily rich life, and at that level, I'm an extremely rich person.
Do you think it is the right place?
I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure it is. Although that's why I'm also hoping to find someone to ask, just to doubly confirm that it is.
So does being here trigger any emotions or memories?
Not memories, but huge emotion. Huge mammoth emotion now. And yes, yeah. This is where the whole story of, quote, difficulty starts. To send an 8-year-old child thousands of miles away from India to a boarding school was an act of abuse. My dad obviously will have been involved in the decision as well, but it will have been primarily my mum's decision. And she is an extraordinary, wonderful, caring, lovely woman. But she can also be a little bit prickly. And I've been on the receiving end of that prickliness. I'm pretty sure this is it. Because I think, and I think it was that flat at the side, Hello. Thank you. Hi.
Tell me, I'm going to ask you something. It was just so cold today, I wondered why you hadn't got a hat on.
I wouldn't dream of being...
With your head behaving the way it does.
I wouldn't dream of being anywhere without a woolly hat. Hardly surprised. I've had 13 brain operations.
They left any in.
Yes, bits and pieces of guns.
Well, come on, it's obviously still working very well.
Well, you see, it's so deceptive. It's so deceptive because my mind is relatively quite good. It's the head, it's the mechanics, memory function, word processing, that's fucked.
You remember how to get here?
No, I didn't.
When you did it by yourself.
No way.
The proof is you came here by yourself.
Well,
the
I
first
came
time I met you.
Yes,
no.
No, that's right.
You found it all by yourself.
I know, but that's because I compensate relatively very, very well indeed. Remarkably well, actually, but by dint of a huge amount of effort. You know, what I do is I'll go to places and I ask people and I'll make the effort to write down stuff, and then of course I have to look at the notebook, see, did they say left, right, whatever, you know, this is what it became except number 5,
Oops, you're lucky. I didn't give you directions because I get my left and my right mixed up. Danny, I wish you'd put a hat on.
I'm going to put my hat on right
Yeah,
away.
quick.
Oh, I know.
Bye-bye, darling.
Thank you.
It's been lovely.
Mutual.
Nice of you to come back again.
Mutual. I'm so pleased. It's made the whole sort of thing feel better for the present time, and I live very much for the present time, and
That is the best way to live, because we don't know where the future's going to take us.
You too.
Thank you.
Live for the present and be
Thank you.
average. That's what I think.
And, Gooey. Hi.
Joey,
Hi,
how are you?
I'm fine. Do you want the light on?
No, it's great the way it is, thank you.
Okay.
You'll go to your dying day saying I'm fine.
How much of India can you remember?
Well, this is the sad reality. I mean, that's why I set off twice in my life to try and go back to India to Darren, what was the question you asked, Darren?
Your father asked you if you can remember.
Yes,
much about India.
that's right. And the answer is no. I remember in the normal way. Fuck all. That's the problem. It's not that I don't remember stuff. It's actually that I can't remember stuff, anything in the normal way.
Yeah.
And that's why I use this term, getting in focus. Because it was very useful, and it's useful to you. You know, it'll be a useful term because you've got memory function impairment now yourself, obviously, for a completely different reason.
Well, it's dementia that all our family have, isn't it? Well, with the memory difficulties. And to give it the posh term, it's dementia.
Well, you're only talking about Pat and yourself now.
Oh, and my mum that was.
And your mum, maybe.
Well, she had total loss of memory, didn't she?
It's a very funny, unusual... but
Yes, well, you have a lesbian grandmother. Oh, you did. There's nothing wrong with being a lesbian.
Absolutely nothing wrong with being a lesbian, is there? But you had gay relationships in India, didn't you?
Yes, quietly. Yes, quietly.
But now, did Mum know about them?
Oh, I think so, yes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Actually, Mum knew right from when you got married, didn't she?
I'm sure she did, yes.
But obviously you were strictly speaking bisexual because you had the three of us, right?
Absolutely, yes, yes. Well, I wasn't. I didn't have many homosexual relationships, really. I don't think I did. I can't remember.
Can you remember what the weather was like yesterday?
Well, I think it's probably
I'm not saying guessing. I'm saying, do you remember? Don't say it was probably like what it was, what it is today.
I think I remember.
You think you do remember what it was like yesterday?
Yeah, I suppose so. I normally don't think about these things. Oh dear, yeah.
Because I only know what the weather's like in this moment. If I've got a window to look out of or I'm outside.
Yeah.
Everything really is a process. You know, for me, it's all about process. Its product is not in the picture, really. It's all about process.
But what about Daniel Macnee? What about living?
Well, very much. My life is a process, and Daniel Macnee is very much a process. To function to the best of one's ability in this moment, you need to have a little bit of an understanding of what's come before, where you've been, where you've come from, and you also need to have a little bit of... I have in the front of my notebook process, I have 5 weekly planning sheets. I have this week, last week's weekly planning sheet, and then the week before last, and then I have 2 weeks weekly planning sheet down the road. I have all the forward weekly planning sheets really for about a year in advance, and which is a very efficient system.
Why do you come back to Dunbar the way you do?
Well, really, the critical word is respite. And also the fact that it's a little distance from Edinburgh. In many ways, doing things over and over and over again, saying things over and over, rehearsing verbally and going places over and over again, it just helps in the process of getting stuff more in focus but it is a disability matter at root, unfortunately. Leeds was a significant Helix trip that I'd been wanting and hoping to trying to do for years, because that's where I was so involved in the SWP, and I worked in the warehouse for over a year, and that was that immersion into the world of working class immersion. Yes, I think that bottom bit is the original bit, and the whole of the top is added, additional. When I joined it, it was still just called the International Socialists, and it was that internationalist component, which was quite an attractive component for me philosophically. Very attractive, because I was so much a citizen of the world, but by the way I was brought up, and actually I should knit to this conversation actually, and it would be appropriate and helpful. It was here that I burnt all my boats and got totally mangled in terms of who I am, and immersed into something which I have no hesitation now in calling a cult, so all my life sort of dreams and visions were invested in that cult, and so emerging from that, it meant total collapse of my life direction, as well as being totally mangled in terms of who I am. So I mean, that all combined to a horrific and horrendous, severe and enduring mental illness. My mum always amazingly, very uncannily and quite unconsciously, but put her finger on it. She said I was like an old man, and that's what a profound depression illness will do to a person in their 20s. And I was only 21 when I got so ill. When you're supposed to be having the time of your life, and I was in hell.
Gordon Brown has resigned. this moment, we're just watching it on Channel 38.
You've just left Buckingham Palace after
Right.
giving the
There's-
Queen
and
his
I-
rest.
there's-
Because he's missing me, you see.
Daniel, there's a job for you to do, my son. put in your resume right away. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
But I mean, when you were 20, you were extremely handsome, and I mean, a lot of the girls around St John's were asking, is he connected? How can we get to know him better?
I think that's putting a rosy hue.
No, it isn't. No, I'm just saying. But you were a good-looking young man that was very well spoken.
Sure,
And
well, that's right.
But you
I
were a
know.
very serious young man.
Well, I know.
And so that
I was
kind
also
of put a bit of a damper on your
very
sexual
ill
allure.
at that point.
Yeah, but we didn't know that
and
so
you didn't
well.
know that so well.
No.
I know it was like the disability, very hidden. I didn't talk about it or say it very much. How I was feeling, that I was, having suicide fantasies most nights. But what stopped me, and what kept me clinging on to the hope, was that early childhood start that kept that hope alive, that one day I was actually going to want to live.
The joy that she feels that you have become, that you are making a life for yourself.
In Edinburgh.
Independent
And
of
independent,
her.
yes.
I mean, when she was here before, I mean, we talked
really
about it for hours.
telling-
You think in the next, and what do you think you might like to touch base with? We did this when your mother was over a couple of years ago. They had certain places they wanted to go to.
Yes.
The Dome was one big one.
Yes.
Obviously, Colin's grave was another.
It's got nothing to do with Colin, as far as I'm concerned.
It has to do with your mother.
Yes, I know. I know. Well, you see,
And
she
she would be pleased if you went to have a look at it, I'm sure. But say no more on that. No pressure. That's it.
You must have made jolly good time.
I know. Very impressive.
Aye.
Ooh. Well, it's really nice to see you. What have you done with Daniel?
Hey, Daniel.
Ah, Peter.
Hi,
Peter.
how are you?
Hi. Can I present you with?
Thank you. This is a Colin present.
Yes, it's a sort of Colin project.
Right. Oh, that's nice. Oh, wow. That's rather nice.
And I'll give you 3 guesses as to what the medium or what the.
Well, I know. I was just about to ask you, Peter, have you got any...
What is this?
It's a mat with a fish on it.
You make this?
Yes, I did. It's the same as that one. I mean, it's one of the series.
Oh, right.
What do all these things mean at the back?
It's my way of recreating the world, actually, in a sense, in a very real sense.
But it's not meant to communicate with anybody. Why do you put it on?
I felt it was okay because it's about Colin, but it's also about me, and therefore I felt it was all right annotate in the way I do that's about me.
Yes.
Do you think your mum struggles too when you come back?
Well, yes, I think she does. Of course she does. You see, I'm her loser, baby. I'm quite happy. When I say happy with something very specific as a relative, it's with calling myself a loser, I'm what I would call a winner-loser. I'm not a loser, but I am very much a loser, and I am, from my mum's perspective, her loser child. So yes, of course, she finds it difficult. And I'll probably never really properly, be able to, for all I try, and I try extremely hard, to sort of, in a sense, rehabilitate myself in her eyes. But what has made me so angry for so long was getting so fucked up with mental illness. And that's what I feel angriest about. Curious. That building calls itself Bell House. My dad had this pub, and I came and helped him, and then almost immediately was in neurosurgery. My first brain operation. I've had 13 brain operations now, and this was the start of I had no idea about this the hydrocephalus then, but this was. And I was going to be traveling the world, but I stayed and helped him set up the Bell. My dad was Jimmy Macnee, who ran it. Oh, yeah. But I'm not sure. You see, I've had 13. I've had 13 brain operations, and the first one was when I. I've got flying first. Bad luck. Here you go. You see, it's frustrating because my dad has a degree of dementia now, so I can't actually, get factual bits and pieces of information. And then he went.
So you got a few bumps in your head.
Well, that's right. Absolutely, that's part of this. The damage, the physical damage.
How much did the hydrocephalus change you, Danny? Change your life?
Radically. The sort of flashy stuff is the 13 brain operations, but that's not the problem. The problem is the fucking disability resulting from the damage, from the surgery. In a sense, there's no life room to get clinically depressed again. The hydrocephalus saved my life. That's an extraordinary thing to say about a fatal condition.
Hi. You all right now? Nice and wonderful supply.
You weren't expecting.
No.
Are you even aware that it's Father's Day today?
No. When did we sort of become aware of the hydrocephalus?
Well, I can tell you, I've had the year in focus for years because of the numbers. It was 1986.
Are you finished with all the operations and things?
No one knows if a shunt will last 50, 60, 70 years.
Yeah, a shunt is exactly what?
It's the hollow plastic tube that drains the fluid is like oil in an engine. You know, it goes round the brain and down the spine and out the system under normal circumstances. If you've got hydrocephalus, there's a problem with the flow of that fluid and it builds up.
Go in.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. A gathering of the clan. Did you down, love?
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm good.
You're goody. Oh. Oh, it is a very pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
And it is a complete surprise. Dad hadn't been told.
I did tell him.
You did tell, right.
Yeah, I mean, I was quite totally surprised. Why wouldn't I remember
Well, you see, I can relate with that, Dad. I mean, you see, in a way, there are... there are some benefits.
Yes, you get a surprise, a pleasant surprise.
That's right. That's right.
It's a lovely surprise. Lovely surprise.
In fact, the first shunts were probably done in the late 50s.
Right.
We have a pretty long track record, and we know the material can last a long time.
Right.
A lot of them pack it up, as they have in your case. At least 13 times they've stopped working.
Well, that's right.
Sometimes they pack it up, but you've grown into it, so you don't notice that it's packed up.
But no, I'm livid.
You're livid? About?
Everything that's happened to me.
Really?
Yes, I am. And that was partly what this knitting process at one level does. It's about the processing of anger, actually.
I don't think it's normal for people to suppress anger, and no matter how well put together you are, when bad stuff happens to you, you have to feel bad about it.
Absolutely.
And you have to say, why me?
Absolutely.
And you have to say, oh fuck, why me?
Absolutely. One of the many other good reasons, and I am getting used to seeing good for the knitting process, is that you make something, and I make little squares, and I call them my friendly squares, okay? Now, they're magic, they can be anything you want them to be, that's in your mind, right? That's the only kind of magic I believe in, that's very serious. Anyway, that is a friendly square for you.
God bless you.
That is a friendly square for you.
Should I tell you what first comes to mind?
Yes, please.
A coaster for a glass of scotch.
The main purpose of seeing him was really just to sort of connect and basically celebrate in a real sense. How far I've come.
Hi there, it's Dan. I'm on a bus on my way to Kyle. My mum's had another little heart attack. Peter phoned me and obviously very concerned about my mum.
She's waiting to have her picture taken.
Yeah.
Thanks, Daniel. Lovely.
Okay. Mum, are you all right there?
Yes, actually, Daniel.
Yeah.
Can you make a little shopping list?
Yeah.
It's been nice to have Daniel around.
Oh, it's been really nice. You know, this is the first time Daniel and I have ever been together. Always his mother's here. And I've got to know Daniel in the last few days much better than I knew him before.
I was suggesting that we should get a chicken from the butcher. I've got one. You should, I hope.
A few years ago, he could never talk about anything outside himself. But now he's au fait with all sorts of things going on in the world, and really knowledgeable and informative and interested. It's a wonderful thing to discover. Now I've got to make a cup of tea.
Anyway, I'm going to go upstairs now and have a little rest.
Right. Right.
So I shall see you all anon.
Indeed. This is the building. It's a lovely old Ontario country hotel. I have a feeling the kitchen's round the corner there. So you'd look into the back. I don't. This may be new, this patio. Well, I mean, I was literally the dishwasher, the hotel dishwasher, for 10 weeks. Up until that Thanksgiving Day weekend, which was the 10th of October, the 10th day of the 10th month. This is where I washed a little bit of the hurt. Just spending 10 weeks, you know, every night dishwashing. And I had just got initially, and that was the whole reason I needed that 10th of October, because it was such a transformation, just getting baseline will to live, just wanting to be alive.
It strikes me that you have a unique relationship with your past. You almost relive it every day.
The processing task is so humongous that I am so yes, it goes on every day and will go on till the moment I pass on, and because it is such a humongous process for me, you know, I am very conscious of it, but I make no apologies for that. It's not like and it's not an intellectual matter either, you know. It helps me live and cope, and survive. This me that's standing here right now was born on the 10th of October of 1988, after 10 weeks as a dishwasher. Things that happened to me before 1988 feels like before I was born. And so the new Daniel needed to be rejoined and reconnected. Happened with the healing and a little bit of looking back over old letters, just sort of figuring out what had happened to me along the way.
Do you look back at your notebooks?
No, I don't. It's a wheelchair. I mean, you wouldn't sort of spend time looking at your wheelchair, would you? You use it.
Well, that notebook has got the past in it.
It is, but that's gone. You know, I mean, I'm very, you know, and that's why I do make the effort to record, to honor when it comes to people and their names, but it is then also a record, which is there, a concrete record, but so, Dan, what did you say? You said it's the past, and then you...